get your boards painted the dark undertone color, then go ahead and mix up the strong color. This is the one that's going to be shown the most. Oh yeah, my fingers are a wreck. I'm not worried about it. And slightly water down this paint. Got this just a little bit too thin. It's probably ideal to go slightly thicker than this, but definitely don't go any thinner than this. Now you're just going to paint right over your brown board. Paint scraper. My technique that I found is I go all the way down one side. With the angle that you use, if it's too straight up and down, it doesn't do a good job. Some boards, I've discovered I can go at a small C shape and also take it off. Steps of this, and it's washing the accent colors on. I just took the roller brush that I was painting with and I watered it down quite a bit. I've got it inside of a grocery bag, plastic grocery bag, and I use the grocery bag to wipe off. I also use a wet rag if I get too much. There's a fine line. This should be pretty dry, otherwise you're going to get a big old blob of main color like that, and you do not want that. So then I'll just wipe it off. It still leaves a little bit of color in there, but that was way too much. So sometimes I'll just expose just ever so tiny little bit. You want it to come out almost like a rub, children's rub. So I'm going to try this and on the side. And that's going pretty good now. I'm barely even touching the brush on there. It's mostly plastic. You see I'm rubbing it? Now I don't like it that dark, so I'm just going to take a little bit of it off with my wet little rag I've got here. But you're just going to look at your grains and then just use your imagination. You don't want to cover it solid. You're just trying to highlight and accent different parts. And as you can see, the more I rub over this knot, or eye, whatever you call it, you'll see it just brings all the tones right up again. And I'm pretty happy with that. This is a little too dark for me, so I'm just going to wipe that off. But less is more, and then as you start to run out of paint, just expose your brush a little more. And I still have another color of my golds that's going to go on top of this, so I'm also thinking about it and leaving a little bit of space for golds, where I'll probably work my golds in. Big knot up here, and I like to really emphasize these big knots and go a little dark. So I've got it just a little bit wet. I don't want it very wet. And I'm just being lazy now. I used to pre-mix it in a little bottle ahead of time, but I've just gotten lazy and figured out some shortcuts. It's messy as all get out, thus my gross fingernails. But Okay, so I'm just mixing that just a little bit right on the brush. And now I'm pretty much going to hide the entire brush and just let a tiny little bit peek through. And I don't want a whole lot of golds in this, so I'm being very stingy with it. And there it came out there. That's darker than I want it for this project. So I'll wipe most of that off, but it leaves just a small amount in there. So I'm going to close this up a little more and just hit this ever so slightly. For this, you just have to kind of use your imagination and just think about where you would want some highlights on this board. Worst comes to worst and you really get it screwed up, just start all over again from scratch. Found is the best is I'll use my finger to really make it more natural instead of just blopping it on. I used to blop it on in the very beginning and they didn't look quite as natural.